Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Go Dubai, your go-to channel for anything and everything related to investments in Dubai. So today we are going to talk about Dubai versus the world, right? How does Dubai position itself on the global stage? How does it compare to other big economies of the world, right? So we'll sort of have a closer look at that. All right, so let's start with some basic numbers. When we look at countries, when we look at economies, what are some basic things we see? We see GDP per capita. All of us, most of us who are watching this video will know GDP stands for gross domestic product. So what is the GDP per capita, which is per person? All right, so that is a very important economic parameter. So the second is GDP growth. How does the economy is growing itself? In terms of, are there more businesses coming in? Is there more trade happening? Is the country doing more exports? Is the country manufacturing more? All of this adds to GDP growth. It's a very important component to see how a country and how an economy is doing. And the last but not the least is the income tax, because that then defines how much money is left end of the day with the citizens and the residents, right? So these are three important parameters. And if you look at each of these three, UAE stands, if you particularly look at GDP per capita, we are talking a very, very healthy average of about $49,000, right? Only US is significantly higher. Apart from that, most of the European countries, and see even, let's say even Singapore is slightly higher, but barring these two, all the other European countries are hovering around the same number, right? So this kind of GDP for a small country like UAE is significant, right? The second is GDP growth. If you see, GDP growth is expected to be about 4%, which is one of the very fastest growth economies in the world. So we are talking about some mature countries growing at 1-2%, some even negative, whereas UAE is growing at 4%. It's only maybe country like India, which is much ahead, because of course we know India is in a growth trajectory. So and they have a lot to catch up. You can see the GDP per capita there, it is quite low. So hence there is a little bit of higher growth estimates there. But if you look at both in combination, both per capita and the growth, UAE is positioned extremely well, and all of this coming at 0% income tax. And if you see all the other places here, none of it has this kind of an advantage. Everybody taxes their residents, some way or the other. UAE is the only place that has 0% income tax right now, which offers all these benefits. So while there may be some other places, of course, which offers zero income tax, but not a country and economy at this scale, right? So very important factor to look at. Now this is one more important slide, right? So property price comparison. So where does Dubai stand, right? So I would want you to take a guess as I show you all these slides. There are different color graphs. So usually when I talk to investors, usually when I talk to people that I interact with, they all guess Dubai could be somewhere in the middle, which is, yeah, it's already sort of grown. So in the last 3-4 years, we've already seen a lot of growth. So it must be one of the middle, because here we are talking about, if you understand the graph well, so we are talking about the year at the bottom on one axis. On the other axis, we are talking about property price per square feet. This is not the growth one. This is absolute property prices per square feet. The growth is indicated in the form of those dots that you see, how it is grown during each year, right? So if you see, Dubai is actually this line, the bottom line. All right, so which means, what does it say? It says that in spite of all the growth that Dubai has seen, it is still one of the affordable markets in the country, in the world rather, right? It's very affordable still. So you're still getting Dubai at a very, very good price, right? So let me just break the suspense and show you what are each of the lines stand for, right? So the first one is Singapore. All right, so it is of course growing, but at a much, much higher level right now. So entry right now, I'm not sure whether it's the right time to enter a market like that. London is falling in the last few years. It had grown to significant levels earlier, but it is falling now. New York on a flat growth, but much higher. If you see about $1,800 per square feet. Paris is about $1,300, and South Mumbai is about $1,000 per square feet. Whereas Dubai, we are talking about under $500 per square feet, which is still the best value that you can ever get in anywhere in the world, right? So you can't get a city and an infrastructure as good as this at this price anywhere in the world, right? So you may get markets that are cheaper than this, but of course the infrastructure, opportunities, and the overall proposition will be much lesser, right? It won't be as lucrative as Dubai. So for those of you thinking maybe I missed the run, I missed the bus, no, it's not. The timing is still right because there is still enough steam, right? If you see the gap is here, there is still enough steam to go from here to here. So you can still be part of that kind of a rally, that is going to happen in the subsequent years, right? So the other important thing to look at is how safe is this place, right, compared to other cities in the world. Now, very consciously, I put both these graphs on the same slide. Why? I'll say that, right? So, for example, you can see in the number 2 there's Andorra. Now, I don't know how many of you watching this video have heard about this place called as Andorra. Unless you've traveled very widely, you may not even know about this place. So, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that it's not just good enough that you're safe place, but you're a small, extremely insignificant part of the world, right? If you are safe and also one among the top 10 globally competitive places on the planet, then there is something, right? So, and when let me also put this in context. When I say safe, I'm talking about safety from a point of view of crime, right? Safety from a point of view of theft, robbery, the other petty crimes that you're talking about. I'm talking about these. So that is what is measured in this, not the other aspects. So I'm want to clarify that to all the viewers of this channel. So here we're talking about safety from that point of view. So UAE is a place where you can walk in the midnight without having to worry what's going to happen. You can walk on a street with the most expensive watch, with the most expensive shoes, with the most expensive jewelry on yourself, and nobody is going to bother you. Nobody is going to even probably take a look because everybody is flaunting their luxury here. Everybody is flaunting their wealth here, and it's extremely safe to do so. And as a parent, I can tell you, it's such a comfort here that my children can go freely in the city wherever they want to. They go to mall, they go use the metro, and they're just teenage, age. I mean, I have a teenage boy, so, and even I have friends who have teenage girls. So they roam about freely, and that's a very, very, comforting factor for a parent. What else you can ask for? And, women can travel in midnight in a cab, and there is absolutely nothing to worry. And as I said earlier, it's not just it is safe, it's also one of the most competitive places. So you can see it ranks on among the top 10 countries when it comes to the global competitiveness. So you're talking about a country that is growing fast, also very safe, very difficult combination to get. A few places in the world have got both of this here. UAE is one of them, right? So what is then future of Dubai, right? So with all these things, where is Dubai headed, right? So is it, that's all, or is there more to come? Of course, there is much more to come. So to start with, we have to understand the 2040 Urban Master Plan. Right? So Urban Master Plan talks about how Dubai wants to position itself for the exponential growth, because the population is expected to go double from here. So from the current 4 million to about 7.8 million by 2040. Right? So now Dubai is preparing already for that kind of a population influx. And they've done a very structured mapping of the city. They divided city into 5 zones. Right? So zone 1 is the old Dubai, the cultural part of the Dubai. They still want to retain the heritage part of the Dubai and develop that so that tourists come here and see where did Dubai start, how did they start, how did they become such a mammoth city, how did they become such a mammoth place which is sort of thriving on all counts, so they can see where it all started. Number 2 is our current center of Dubai. I'm using the word current very carefully here because the center is shifting slowly with Dubai growing, but that is currently the center of Dubai. That is where we have the Burj Khalifa, downtown, DIFC and all of that. And if you see the top part of the 2 towards the seaside, right? So that is what got developed first. Now the bottom part of the 2 is getting developed now. A lot of developments happening there, a lot of construction activity happening there. So very shortly that's going to be a very populous area as well, right? So that is number 2 for you. And there is number 3, which is the entertainment center. That is where your Palm Jumeirah, you can see Palm Jumeirah on the top here, right? So there is Palm Jumeirah here, there is Dubai Marina here, right? So, and then there are a lot of communities, residential communities here. So that is number 3 for you, and also a lot of tourist attractions here. That's why it's called as entertainment zone, because right from IMG World of Adventure, Global Village, most of your theme parks, everything is in number 3, right? So that is where you have all the tourist attractions. Number 4 is Dubai South, the future growth corridor. You must have definitely heard about Dubai South if you heard about Dubai, right? So that's where the new Al Maktoum airport, in fact the airport is already existing, but it will become the main airport by 2033, and all the operations will be shifted from the current airport to this airport, which will handle more than 260 million passengers. There is a separate slide we talk about that. But not only the airport, this corridor will also have Expo City. In fact, 2026 onwards, exhibitions will start happening in Expo City. Massive place, all right. So Dubai is known for exhibitions. It runs about more than 15-20 world-class, top-notch exhibitions in the world, and people from across the world come here for exhibitions. And Dubai has done extremely great job in making sure that all of these people have come at one place, and they have all the facilities and the infrastructure while they explore business and business opportunities. So Expo City is there. Then there is also Palm Jebel Ali, right? So the twice the size of Palm Jumeirah. So that is coming up there. So that whole area is going to have similar growth trajectory like the Palm Jumeirah and Dubai Marina had around 2010, that period, right? So hence this corridor is going to be an extremely important one for Dubai's growth, and a very important one from a investment standpoint. So yeah, I'll do a separate video on Dubai South itself, so you can see that. But as of now, yes, that is what Dubai South offers. And number 5 is the academic hub, right? So that is where knowledge, technology, innovation, all the universities are in fact placed there, most of them in fact. So we have 2 sort of places where universities are there. One is Knowledge Park and the other one is the academic city. So that's where Silicon Oasis, the area that has most of the technology companies, most of the innovation companies, are housed in number 5. All right. So this is the urban master plan. Now, yeah, so there is a plan to increase the public spaces. There is a plan to increase transportation. There is a plan to increase urban centers, whatnot. So all of these plans are laid out today. Imagine for 2040, right? So the master planning, the city planning is already done, and already those actions are being taken as we speak. The contracts are being awarded. Structured work is happening towards that particular direction. As I said, airport, 260 million passengers, will be the world's largest airport when it is operational. All right, so more than 400 gates. Just take a moment to imagine 400 gates in an airport, right? So that's this kind of scale. I mean, I always joke with my friends here that Dubai does not do anything small. Anything that it does at scale. So it has to be the largest, biggest, best thing that they always do. So hence this airport is no different. So it will be one of the largest airports in the world, handling about 260 million passengers. Already Dubai is a connecting hub. So most of the world traffic goes through Dubai, and it's going to be even more in the coming future. DIFC, I want to take a few minutes to talk about DIFC here, because DIFC contributes to more than 5% of Dubai economy, 5% of Dubai GDP. Now a lot of places, lot of countries have a vision to do something like this, but to pull it off, to execute this is extremely difficult task. Because what is DIFC? It's an ecosystem. It's an ecosystem of companies that come together and work in a separate law, because in DIFC, Sharia law is not followed, UK common law is followed to attract global companies to come here. Yeah, to make sure that they're comfortable coming here and having their business operations here. A separate law is framed for companies operating within the city. There are separate courts, hearing matters pertaining to matters within the DIFC area. Now this kind of a vision, this kind of execution is what makes Dubai, right? So you have top 5 AMCs, asset management companies having their offices here, top 5 insurance companies in the world having their offices here. Many of the large banks, systemically important banks, have their operations here, and we have seen 25% increase in the number of registrations that take place in DIFC alone, which means more and more companies across the world are coming and setting up their shop in DIFC. So why? Of course, because there is a very vibrant startup ecosystem here, there is a vibrant funding ecosystem here, and there is a very good IP protection laws here, as good as a place like Singapore, because a lot of people set up offices in Singapore as well, startups, but Dubai offers similar intellectual property rights, and also justice system is faster. So in case something were to go wrong, you have a justice system that addresses those problems immediately. It does not take years and decades, it just takes weeks to months to handle some of those issues. So because of this, a lot of companies are coming and setting up their campuses here. So one of the negative fallout of that is, of course, there is a lot of traffic around DIFC area. I mean, people who live in Dubai know that DIFC area is most crowded, but government has recently announced a 100 billion AED project to expand DIFC. So in the next 3-4 years, we are going to see easing of this as well. And the office space is literally non-existent here. So we're seeing about more than 98% of occupancy in DIFC offices. So that's the kind of demand, that's the kind of trajectory that we're seeing in DIFC. Ras Al Khaimah, the casino, you must have heard about casino coming to UAE. So UAE, Ras Al Khaimah as an emirate will be having their first casino in the UAE as a place. So the Wynn Casino, so this will be Wynn's largest casino in the world. In fact, it will be bigger than Las Vegas. So they're going to be starting around 2027 is the estimated time. So once it starts here, of course, not only UAE, the entire GCC, entire region, in fact, will get a lot of benefit, because not only people don't come to just casino tourism. There are a small segment of people who may do that, but a lot of people come and add casino to their tourism agenda. So that will sort of increase the overall ecosystem, overall tourism as a sector. Education, I told you, already in one of my earlier videos that there is a very, very big focus on education in Dubai. So we have, from a Indian university point of view, if you talk about, we have IIMs, we have IITs here already. IIT has already set up their shop. IIM started this year, and we have Symbiosis, we have Manipal University, and from UK side we have University of Birmingham, Heriot-Watt, you name it, I mean, you have it. And then there are some more upcoming universities that are coming up. So right from medical to engineering to management, you name it and you have it. All right. So in a matter of next 5 to 10 years, mark my word, this video is going to be there for long. In the next 5 to 10 years, Dubai will be competing with the biggest education hubs of the world, for attracting students. And Dubai has done the right thing already, because you all know, the countries that attract students is the one that eventually grows, because once the students come, they get comfortable with the place and they continue to live there and work there and contribute to the economy there. That's what happened to US, right? So a similar thing is supposed to happen here as well, and you will see that happening in the next 5 to 10 years. Etihad Rail, one of the very, very big, massive infrastructure projects that UAE has undertaken. Etihad Rail connects all the Emirates. It will connect all the Emirates, and this is going to be a game changer, because already the goods are moving between these Emirates on the Etihad Rail network. Now from 2026, as early as 2026, even passengers will move. Now imagine this what kind of a contribution this can have on the overall economy. So it will be massive. So that's already sort of, almost in the final stages of being launched. So that's going to be there as well. Flying taxis are a reality. So it's no longer a matter of fiction, you keep seeing in the movies and you just dream about it. So in Dubai, it's a reality. It's going to again take place. All the trials have been completed. If you go to Dubai Mall a few weeks back, it was already on display. If you wanted to see how a flying taxi looks, you could go to Dubai Mall and see how it looks, because it's going to be operational as early as this year. So you can fly from Palm Jumeirah to downtown Dubai in a matter of just few minutes, and not very expensive as well. About 200-250 dirham is the estimated cost. We don't know. Once it comes, we know the exact numbers, but at a very, very reasonable cost, you can travel at a speed that you can imagine, right? So that's the kind of urban transportation vision that Dubai has. And Dubai is also a logistics hub for the BRICS consortium. So as you know, the power is shifting. A lot of things are happening in geopolitics. So in future, if the BRICS consortium, of course the BRICS consortium, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa and many other countries, UAE is also part of it, and UAE is the logistics hub. So UAE is very well placed. So in case if the power shift were to happen, in case if the geopolitical shift were to happen, UAE is placed very well to take advantage of that, right? Right. So yeah, so that's in nutshell what Dubai offers, how Dubai is sort of not only competitive but much ahead when it comes to other parts of the world. And if a country is doing so much for its residents, for its citizens and for its people, of course it's bound to grow and it's bound to attract more people. That's exactly what is happening here. So a lot of people ask me, why is real estate growing? Is it some sort of a bubble there? I say no, real estate is not growing on its own. Real estate is growing because the economy and the country is growing. Because the country and economy is growing, more people are coming. When more people come, the first thing they want is a house, right? So that's what is happening in Dubai. And not only that, there is also wealth that is coming. So a lot of people are comfortable investing their money in a place like Dubai, even if they don't want to live there. I know a lot of investors who invested saying that, I don't want to rent, I don't want to live there permanently, but I want to have a house there. I want to use it whenever I visit there, etc. So, all of these comfort, conveniences and safety is what Dubai offers, right? So, watch our next video where we're going to talk about, how you need to go about identifying the right investment opportunity for you. So, if you're very keen on that, follow our channel. There's going to be a video on that as well. But do not forget to click on the bell icon, because that can ensure that you get our latest videos right in your inbox, right? So looking forward to see you on the next video.